to reveal what I could feel. And it's lonely. I just wanna leave me alone. I'm fooling somebody.
Hi. How is everyone? This is my new brow look. It's my new look. Welcome. Unless you have a decent resolution going on, you probably just think I shaved them, but I didn't. I bleached my browsies, and I kind of love it. Hope you guys are having a good day. Very excited to do a little recovery day with you all. I still have the flyer up in the corner over here, but this was the show I did last night, and it's why I'm feeling very sore and tired today. So I am in desperate need of some recovery time. Hi, Holly. Hi, Yasna. Thank you. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to style everything. I don't quite have a eyebrow pencil that matches, but we're working with what we got. Oh, thank you, Renee. Yeah, the show went really well. It was a freaking blast. The vibes were vibing, and we all had so much fun. Holly says, recovery class is my favorite class. Me too. I love doing some extended recovery time. Yeah, every time, and I really thought like, oh, well, the show isn't late, you know, I'll be home and I can rest. And, you know, I took all of Saturday resting, but still, I definitely need some attention. Definitely in my lower body. Shoulders always feel okay. I wasn't doing anything super upper body focused, but it's a lot of legs and ankles and feet. So we're gonna be working on our legs and ankles and feet today, if you guys are down for that. That's what I need today. Let me burn a little Palo Santo. I need a little reset energetically. So here's what we'll be needing prop-wise today. If you guys have it, some type of ball or something that you can use on your feet, because we're gonna start with some foot release, yeah? Having a strap, not totally necessary, especially if you're flexible, but I do wanna do some nice like grounded, like the little kind of leg stretch routine that we typically do, and then having blocks is always super helpful, yeah? Yeah, we might keep the class also to like a 45-minute. Keep it quick, keep it dirty, keep it nasty. Oh. I love the way Palo Santo smells. All right. Let me transition to our other screen, and then I'm gonna adjust my mat a little bit. I can tell I need to adjust it just ever so slightly. Oh, I'm feeling it today. Oh. Nope, this way. This way. Let me see how this looks. I'm also gonna lift up just a little bit here. Just a touch. There we go. That should work. All right, let me bring up this chat just so I got some eyes on everybody. Amazing. So I do have my blocks over here. I've got my straps and my balls. I actually just did a big order of these the other day. As some of you guys know, I'm doing a retreat in Costa Rica in less than a month. So many of my online community are coming. It's like totally an online community retreat. Like, it's so cool. People are coming in from all over. But I just ordered a whole bunch of these. I'm gonna be giving them out as gifts to the attendees. So I'm super excited about that. We'll be doing so much good trigger point therapy and recovery stuff out there. Just to, you know, give us some time after we go on our hikes and our adventures. Hey, Sarah, you made it just in time. Hey, Nicolette. You guys are right on time. And if you didn't get the memo, we're doing some recovery time today. So we're going to start with our feet because my feet hurt. Some people feel comfortable doing, you know, foot recovery stuff, just standing in open space. Some people may feel more comfortable holding on to like a chair or a wall, especially if you're feeling a little tired, a little dazed. Yeah, if you rolled out of bed to get here. So I'm gonna start with my ball on the floor. I, again, hope you can see well enough what we're doing. I'll do as best I can to describe everything down to the most minute detail. So we're gonna start with our right foot, okay? I'm gonna place my big toe ball mound. So that entire, you know, area which encompasses where all my phalanges attach to the other part of my foot, I'm gonna just place that right on top and allow my foot to spread over the ball. Key is to just allow everything to spread. Like as I'm looking down, all those little initial knuckles right here are nice and taut, nice and white. So I can really tell that I'm taking the time to spread out there. Now we're gonna rainbow from side to side. And I'm moving my entire body, right? So I'm pivoting so that I'm not putting any unnecessary weirdness on any of my joints. This one always feels so good for me. This next part I'm dreading a little bit because I know it's going to be very intense feeling. All right, now lean back a little bit onto your left foot. Place the ball more center. This is where, again, if you need a little balance help, you may want it. And we're going to do some up and down the foot chugging. Up and down, up and down. Now our plantar fascia, which is, you know, all of the stuff that, well, your fascia is like the sausage casing of your muscles, right? But plantar fascia can be very problematic for people. If you've ever had plantar fasciitis, you know very well how it feels to feel like your feet are a tight little rubber band. This is one of my favorite ways just to loosen up the feet, help me feel more grounded. You can take your focus more to the arch or to the outside. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of, you know, adjustment, wiggling and squiggling. All right, Now we're gonna finish with a high heel. So I'm gonna place the ball right underneath my heel. I'm gonna step my other foot a little bit closer and then maybe even try to put most of my weight onto that right foot. Give it a little squish. Last 3, last 2, and 1. Let's come off. Oof. All right. Let's do all that on the other side, shall we? All right. So starting first with our toe box spread. So heel is on the ground. You're taking that not the mid part, but that upper part of your foot where all the little knuckles attach. We're just gonna wrap that around our ball. This is a really excellent decompression tool. Oh my gosh. Feet are feeling so tight. All right, let's go into our chug. So we'll pull that ball back a little bit. Your weight is back on your right foot here. That way we're free to move the left. Oh man. This side is very angry. Oh my God. And it makes sense, you know, my left side is notoriously tight, so that will manifest in literally every sense of the way. Whew, this one's spicy. I can literally feel heat like coming from my foot. All right, couple more moments and then we'll do our high heel. Wow, spice. The spice must flow. I'm in the middle of reading Messiah, Dune. So the Dune lore is just gonna keep popping up in every class, okay guys? We know this. Okay, it's high heel time. I'm gonna step a little closer. Gonna get my heel on. My big toe ball mound is on the floor. Now, if you feel it enough here, stick with it, or get up a little bit taller and feel your weight descending down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Let's work off of our ball. Woo! Try out your new foot. That's really good. I'm just realizing I really need to leave this guy underneath my desk and just absentmindedly roll my feet all the time. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into the feet and work our way into some other work, okay? So we'll come down onto the floor. We'll sit onto our heels. I'm gonna put my ball back in his little ball sack. And since we did so much flexed footwork, let's just take a moment here sitting onto our heels. If you feel enough of a stretch, you can stay, or you can try stretching out the tops of your ankles by lifting up one of your knees. Now, if you're very flat-footed, or if you do like a lot of activities where you're like running or walking and you're constantly taking the ankle into its like dorsiflexed position, this could be a very challenging one for you. So just know that that's very normal. All right, other side. Wow. Good. All right, let's come up. Oh, forward onto your tabletop position. Roll out your little ankles. And then let's sit back in our thunderbolt shape. So our flexed foot position, stretching out the undersides of our feet. Wow, okay. Bring yourself back forward. And now let's tap out the tops of our feet onto the ground. Okay, let's stay in our tabletop. I just found a pie whisker. Anybody else keep their cat's whiskers? I have a little collection. All right, let's work through our cat cows. Reaching and contracting. I guess I'm just gonna yawn the whole time we move, guys. I'm paying some extra attention to my throat here too, giving my chin a little side to side. All right, let's open up our knees. Working into a child's pose position here. So toes will come together, knees nice and wide. Open up the hips, walk your arms forward in front of you. Now, as we're breathing here, because that's what I really want you to do, is continue to breathe. I want you to feel like that breath is being directed down towards the belly, promoting some more openness down in that sacral area. All right, let's walk our hands over towards our left-hand side. Reach, reach, reach off of the mat. And take it through center, same thing, other side. All right, we'll take ourselves back through center. Let's rise back into our tabletop position. Now, left hand is gonna stay. I'm gonna kickstand my left leg a little off to the side, so that way I can open up. Right arm is going to reach towards the ceiling. Let's go through some arm circles. Okay, you know what? My shoulders do need this. I was like, my shoulders are fine. Actually, babes, they need it. They also need all the love in the world. All right, next time you're sweeping back behind you, let's tuck this right arm into a little half bound shape. If you want some extra activation to the outside of the hip, you can float the right leg. All right. Now let's take your right leg, stick it straight out to your right hand side. Toes are going to face the front. Open up the right arm towards the ceiling once more, and either lower just your right forearm or hand down to the ground, or if your inner thighs are pretty flexible, you could even go into your needle thread here. So right arm going underneath you, shoulder and ear to the ground. All right, let's bring ourselves back up. We'll tuck this right leg in one more time, and our little kind of finisher move for this side is going to be an asymmetrical puppy position. Yeah. So right arm will slice towards your upper right hand corner. Right ear is going to work down towards your bicep. Now, if you do want a little bit more, you could bend your right arm. That's the one that you're kind of resting on top of. And try to bring the right hand to your upper spine area. All right, let's release your right arm. Slide the right hand kind of towards that center area, and let's kick out and do this other side. Modified side plank. Left arm, big circles. Reverse. And option to reach back or tuck your left arm behind you into a half bound position. Now, if you went for a little bit of activation and balance, you can float your left leg. Three, two, and one. Let's release. Bring this left leg out to the side. Open up the left arm. Oh my God, my hamstrings. Those are what we're going to be focusing on next, all right? Either left hand, left forearm, or thread your needle. Oh. I feel like I could just live here. Okay, let's bring ourselves back up from here. We'll tuck this left leg back in, and then we'll go into our asymmetrical puppy position. So left arm will thread towards that top right-hand corner. And I went for the additional sensation by bringing my left hand kind of back towards my like T-spine area, right between my shoulder blades. Good, last 3, last 2, and 1. Let's release. Bring yourself back up into your tabletop shape. And let's go into our down dog. Lift up your hips. Take a little pedal. You can go for a couple high plank to down dogs, some rollers. So working through some bending and extending. And let's get a little more intentional with that. So with your next breath in, lift up both of your heels. We'll bend into your knees, try to compress your chest to your thighs. And then with your exhale, lengthen out the legs, try to drive your heels to the floor. Again, lift up your heels, bend your knees, bring the chest back towards your thighs. Good, everything is unchanging. Breath in, exhale, straighten through the legs, drive the heels down. One more time, lift, bend, drive those heels down. Okay, let's lift up our heels again, tippy toe your way to the front. I know that was a lot of hand time. Let's go into a malasana, or deep squat position. Open up through your hips, give your shoulders a break. We'll go for one more breath. And then let's bring ourselves to the floor. If you're able to just descend your booty down and catch yourself, cool. If not, you can always bring your hands down to the floor, lift your hips like into a forward fold, especially if you're higher up, and then make your way down however you like. We're gonna work with our straps next. We're gonna do very focused hamstring, TFL, and inner thigh work. If you've taken my class before, you've probably done this routine. But that's what makes it a routine, right? It's things that we need to repeat and do again and again. All right, so we'll lay all the way down onto our backs. Sorry, just putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let's start with our right side. Strappies, maybe your loops. Place it across the center line of your foot. Now, I want us to start with our left foot on the ground, even if you just know you're very flexible. I just want us to get our foundation down pat, okay? So heel is directly above your hip socket, yeah? It might be a little bit further back than you think. Now, check in with your lumbar curve. So I usually like to take my opposite hand and kind of feel around where my waist is at and see that I have just a little pocket of something, right? This won't anatomically be the case for everybody, but most folks will be able to have a little bit of a lift. Now, if you can maintain all of that and take your opposite leg away, cool, make it happen. All right, now as we're holding on to these straps, just notice if you're transferring any type of weirdness into the shoulders. You should feel like your shoulders are kind of hugging the ground underneath you. Now let's do some really tiny bends and extends. Bends and extends. Nice, let's do some points and flexes. All right, meet me on your point. Try to pull this right leg closer to you and then bring it back into a flex. Good, again, point, try to bring it closer to you, and flex. Now, if you're getting to the point where your torso is in your way, if you're very, very flexible, you can take the leg further out to the side. Again, give it a point, and then a flex. I'm feeling tight, but I'm feeling good right now. All right. It's time for everybody's favorite, your TFL or IT band area. So we'll restack, transfer both of your strap ends into your left hand, and without peeling any part of your spine off of the floor, take the right leg across your body. Now, I kind of automatically and instinctually sickle my foot because I want to get into the outside of my legs, particularly my ankles and my calves here. So you can sickle your foot, turn the toes down in order to make that happen. Oh my God. Now, sometimes finding the stretch takes a little bit of exploring. I notice I'll find it real quick if I try to lengthen out through my right side waist. So if you're hiking everything up, you may still feel it, but I get a really nice, enjoyable intensity when I try to lay as evenly as I can. One more breath in and breath out. Good, let's take your right leg all the way back through center and let's go into our inner thigh. So bend it to your left knee, open up the right leg out to the side. Feel free to also pick up your left foot and point your left knee out towards your left. One more breath in and breath out. Let's bring it all back to center. Now, you can do this next exercise with a strap, especially if your legs are just feeling super heavy today, or you can ditch the strap off to the side, yeah? Now, this is Pilates oriented, okay? So it's a bit of core work, but it's also some stretch, okay? So first, I want you to feel nice and secure through the hips. Flex into your foot. I want you to lower down with your flexed foot, point the toe, and then lift back up. Good. Flex, lower, point, and lift. Typically, we do this with our pelvis hovering, but I just want us to feel this one before we do our big circles. Okay, now the next time your right foot comes up, I want you to think of your right leg as your whip. Your hips are the handle of the whip, okay? So this doesn't move. Around and up. Good, 3, 2, press into that left foot. 1, and reverse. 3, 2, and 1. Place your right foot on the floor. Oh, okay. Let's do that whole sequence on the other side and then we're pretty much done for today. So we'll place our left foot into the strap. Again, starting with just our most basic foundation, but still important for the reminders, right? Try to give yourself a little bit of emphasis to your lumbar spine so you can check your work with your right fingertips. Try to keep the right heel stacked. Luckily, I have a camera so I can kind of check myself. Okay, Now from there, you can go for more space with your opposite leg, even all the way extended out. Now let's go with our micro bends and extends, or our pliés. Good, and then let's point and flex the foot. All right, we'll meet with our pointed position. Try to bring the left leg a little bit closer without any manipulation in any other way. Flex. Point, try to bring it a little bit closer. Flex. Oh my God, I'm shaking. All right, let's bring it all the way back to center. TFL time. Pass your straps into your right hand. Keep your spine onto the floor and then take your left leg across your midline. So I notice when we try to like hike the leg up higher, it really encourages the spine to come off the ground. But if we keep ourselves as neutral as we can through our pelvis, a little less effort. All right, let's take it all back to center. We'll transfer our straps into our left hand. Right foot comes down to the floor. Separate, open up, get into the groin. All right, let's bring it all back to center. We'll go foot to the ground, ditch your strap. Again, leg is not the whip just yet. We're gonna do those little points and flexes first. So flex position, you'll lower down and then point the toe and lift. Flex, drive down, point and lift. Flex, drive down, point and lift. Two. And last one. All right, now again, all of the control in the world as you start to take your legs through these circles. I notice driving down into my right foot helps a lot, and not feeling like I have to rush myself, because the second we start rushing shit, that's when things start to fall apart. Good, reverse. Three, 2. And 1. Beautiful. Let's place both of our feet down onto the floor. And let's give ourselves a bridge after that. So push into your feet, lift up your hips. Maybe you want to walk your shoulders together. Give yourself a nice chest expansion lift here. All right, let's release. Bring yourself down to the floor. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And let's rock ourselves up to a seat. All right, couple more little shapes here, then we're all done. This is a move that I've been trying to do a lot. Really great for your shoulders, really great for your core and back line. This is also one I've been giving to my mom as like a little assignment to do for her core strength, you know. All right, reverse tabletop. So hands facing the front, push into the floor, elevate through your hips. Now you can let your head fall back, but if that ever just doesn't feel good for you, you can just look forward. Good, last 3, last 2, and 1. Lower your hips down. Bring your feet together, sit up nice and tall, hinge forward, bound ankle position. All right, let's bring ourselves up from here. Lengthen through your legs in front of you. Make sure your sit bones are nice and grounded. And then let's hinge forward over the legs. Okay, our final move, my loves. 2 options. Relaxed method first. Hands come behind you. You lift up your chest, right? Spiraling the arms external. You can even walk your hips away and go deeper, okay? If you want something a little more intensive, you can try reverse plank, yeah? So again, fingertips facing the front as opposed to this more relaxed one where they're facing the back. Push into your heels, lift up your hips. Good, try to keep holding 15 seconds, lift. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Sit up nice and tall. Roll out through your head and neck a little bit. All right, everybody. That's all we're doing today. I know we normally run class for an hour, but that's all my body felt like doing today. Oh, thank you so much. Hope that felt as good for you as it did for me. Thank you, Daniel. Yay. Just a little quicken. So, our schedule for the rest of this week, we'll have our normal reset class on Wednesday, and then we're going to do a bar class on Thursday. All three of those are going to be at the same time because I'm teaching a private workshop on Thursday at 1 o'clock, so I'm not able to do a class at noon on Thursday. And then that following week, it's going to be July, if you can actually believe that. Oh my God. Yay. You collect whiskers, Nicolette. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Thank you, Yasna. Thank you, Sarah. I know, having the little whiskers are so special. My friend Melodia, you guys know I wear her clothes all the time. She has like a full-on kitty altar in her house, and she has jars full of whiskers. I love her so much. Little kitty altar. It's great. It's amazing. Definitely, she's the one that inspired me to keep collecting them. All right, darlings. I love you all so much. Yay, I'm glad. I may have a few whiskers, yes. I love that. I always think, like, let it be, an example. Like, even if you're really out of it and really tired. Speaking of whiskers. Hi, Pi. You're late. Class is over, ma'am. If you ever feel like really tired and you're like, I don't want to do shit today, I'm exhausted, you can always take a little moment to at least like stretch a little bit. It always makes me feel so much better. So let that be your motivation. All right, honeys, if I don't see you at other moments this week, I will see you next Monday. Next Monday will be the 30th, which is also my husband's birthday. Cancer season. You. Aw, Jess, I see your comment here. Thank you so much for coming, Jess. All right, my loves. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for coming. Love you all so much.